hot, beautiful weather, and we are now officially on the countdown to opening up, and very, very excited, a little bit nervous. How are you feeling, Karley?
I think I am really excited, but I'm anticipating now. I just want to get back and get on with it, go and do it. But it's been great having all the webinars to get us ready and get us back in the zone.
Definitely. So today what we are going to focus on, we're not going to start just yet. We're going to wait for you all to come on. So yes, if you've got any questions, please put a question mark at the end of your question, so it will highlight it and we'll go over them at the end. So we've got a computer screen here, so it's really small writing, so we can see you all saying good morning, Matt. We can see you there. So tiny.
There's
Olivia,
Elaine,
Ruth. Hello, Ruth.
Helen. Good morning. Hi, Ashley. Oh, there's Leanna.
Lovely.
So I think we've got quite a few people joining us this morning, and we are in the academy. Some of you have been to the academy already. We literally launched in February. We opened up the academy, but it's great to be back in here, and especially with Nicole as well. Like, it's getting back to some sort of form of normality. The new norm.
Yes, well, this is part of the new norm as well. So we have our advisors ready, because we will be going through a couple of demos, because what we'd normally recommend would be sitting down with your client eye level, and we're going to be going over a lot of the 8 steps. And I want you guys to think past Corona, because I think we're all really focusing on the first 6 weeks of coming back, and we are going to share some of the things that we're going to be implementing in our salons and with our clients to help ease some of them anxieties for you guys to use and take away. But we need to think past that. We need to think for the bigger picture, and the best thing we can do right now is focus on experience, because the clients are going to be feeling very low. They're not going to be feeling great about themselves. A lot of them aren't back at work yet. They're in this weird bubble of just sitting at home, kind of a Groundhog Day. So they're coming to us. It's been this long anticipated journey, and so we need to make sure that we are on point. We're creating that experience to make them feel amazing. Then they're going to go back and they're going to help review us for it and recommend us. They'll take the retail, which is going to help your business moving forward.
The 4 R's.
Exactly.
A lot of you already who are with us today already have implemented the 8 steps in your salon. I know we've got some people who haven't, or have only just been introduced to the 8 steps. So we're going to be going over the 8 steps today. But like what Nicole said about the experience, it's about the experience that we give to our clients. And right now, more than ever, it's the importance of experience. And for those of you who were on Debbie and Daniel's webinar on Wednesday, that we got some great advice from April Cox, who's one of the other Eufora educators in America, and she was saying that so many clients at the moment that she's been seeing, because they're back already, are not feeling their self at the moment, so they're not completely happy. So it's really important that we turn up the notch and we really give them the best experience, and it's so important to make sure that they feel safe, that they feel special, and prioritized.
Yeah, and that's the main thing going back. And I think what we really need to focus on is exactly what Karley just said there. Every client is going to want to feel special. And that's what we really need to focus on. They're going to want to feel prioritized, and you're going to have to manage that in a very delicate way, that everyone wants to be first. And I actually put a post up and I actually said that we only have one pair of hands and everyone wants to be first. So I think just be open and acknowledge that that is something that's happening right now. And we're going to show you some different techniques of how you can just ease expectation, because we will have them odd heathers that want to be straight away. And that's a difficult conversation that we're all going to be put into. And I think that adds a lot to the anxiety. And then last of all, we want to make them feel as safe as possible. And so we're going to go through a lot of that, and just to set you up to win and get you ready to go back, raring, and not feeling that anxious anxiety anymore, just to ease that so you can just hit the ground running and we can tackle this head on.
Definitely. Like, I've spoken to many of the stylists over the last few weeks, and everybody has just been feeling a little bit anxious. You know, what is the new norm going to be like? But, you know, I think a lot of us, we are hairstylists, and it's because we've not had that, like, we've not been at work, you kind of lose your purpose almost. But just coming back into the academy and doing education, instantly it comes back. So I want to completely say to all the stylists, as soon as you're back in there, you're back in the zone. And this is what all the webinars are about. Like, and today is going to be about getting you back in the zone so you feel confident when you go back to the salon, because we've had a lot of time to reflect and like look at ourselves, to study. And we want to go back bigger, better, and stronger. You know, what do they say? The comeback is always bigger than the setback.
Exactly. So we are going to crack on now, and we're going to talk about each of the steps. We are going to elaborate on some steps more than others, because we have a limited amount of time, and we want to just give you some of the real good, easy tips you can go away and start implementing straight away. So our step one, Karley, what is step one?
So step one is the warm and friendly greeting. And when you look back at each of the steps, we traditionally have a specific way we used to work with it, but we want to include the new norm. So what we are saying is going to be the warm, safe, friendly greeting.
Exactly. Now, what that looks like to you and your salon is different. And what I would say is I'm just sort of mirroring back what Debbie said, that this may be something we need to implement for the longevity of the business. This might be something we're never able to take back. So I think make your warm, friendly, safe greeting something you can keep doing for a long time. So if you're wanting to do everything with the guidelines, which we have to, plus all this extra stuff, is that going to be something that you can sustain going forward? So something that I'm going to be implementing is we're going to be sending out consultations online just to help set me up to win straight away. So when that client walks through the door, I've already got a bit of knowledge as to what's happening. There's some other things that we could start to implement as well, like introducing the wellness, because a lot of the salons in America have been going back, and because we're part of the Eufora education team, I've seen a lot of what's been going on over there, and they've been using the room sprays. So I've got Renew here to offer like an aromatherapy experience on their face masks. So as they come in, they ask them the questions about their health and the corona questions. If you choose to, I don't think that's a mandatory thing, but I know a lot of salons will be doing that. And then often if they want to have an aromatherapy experience today, these are just some other things just to make that experience even more. Okay, let's think past that coronavirus, think past it. Let's make it more of something to talk about. Or actually, yes, I have to wear a mask, but how about we just do a little spritz of this onto your mask to add a bit of an experience onto that?
Absolutely, because, you know, when we talk about Eufora, it's all about the experience and, the 5 senses. And at the moment, we're not able to really touch our clients. So, by really upgrading their experience, but with the scent and the smell of the salon, then that's going to be something that we can touch them with the scent, rather than we can't physically touch them. So
definitely. And I think as well, having that mask, it takes away that smile. It takes quite a lot away the personality. So I think the words we're using and the way we're saying things and our body language is all going to add up to that experience. We need to make them feel at ease as quickly as possible. So making sure that you make them aware of maybe the policies. Here's a hand cleansing station. So normally I would do like a visual tour, and I'd say, oh, this is where the toilets are. That's where we wash the hair. This is where you'll be sitting. Whereas now I'm going to be saying you have a sanitized station here. You've also got one over there. There's hand sanitizers dotted around. I'm going to be pointing them out so the clients know, okay, there is lots of hand sanitizers around. They're taking this seriously. I feel safe here. And I think when I was walking around IKEA the other day, and they were dotted around everywhere, and then it sort of became a bit of a thing. Oh, there's a hand sanitizer. There's a hand sanitizer. But it was nice because it reassured me as a consumer in there. This company are taking it very seriously, and I feel safe now. If they're taking it seriously, I feel safe, and I want to come back here.
Definitely. And when we talk about warm and friendly greeting, we talk about it whether it's an existing client who's been coming to us for years, or whether it's a brand new client. But when we go back to the salon, every client is going to be a new client. So we only get one chance to make a first impression. Absolutely. And so that is going to be so important. Step one, that warm, safe, friendly greeting, that it's going to be like a new person we're greeting, even though we've done this client's hair for years, because we don't know how they have been over the past 12 weeks. So it's important that we really make sure that we're getting the best impression across for that first impression. Is there anything that you guys are doing, or any ideas of how you want to work on your warm and friendly greeting? Have you been speaking with your team about it? Like, have you really been looking at the 8 steps and how you can go back and do it differently? Have you already been talking about it? If so, write in the comments. It'd be great to share ideas, and that's what we're here to do today as well.
Yeah, this is a huge opportunity. Some of the best businesses, they grow through recessions and through hard times, and this is your time to really step up to the plate and be that business that you wanted to be, and be that stylist you've always wanted to become. These are your times. We're never going to get this chance back, so use this as a real great opportunity to go, actually, I can reinvent myself. All them things I wanted to do, you now have the chance to do that. So all them times you think, oh, I wish I had time to sit down and go with pictures, or I wish I had time to follow up on my appointments, or I wish I had time to do these things. Now's the time to reinvent yourself and come back bigger than you was before. So have a little think about, what does the warm, friendly greeting mean to you and your salon, and how's that going to make sure that across the team it all plays the same, because you don't want to have one person doing one thing over and beyond and the other person sort of half doing stuff. It needs to be something that's set beforehand, and maybe even have like a little dry run through. My team, we're going to go in on Monday and we're going to try all the PPE, and we're going to do a dry run through, so that when we open up, we are ready to go and the girls know exactly what we're doing and where things are going to be and how it should sound as well. And that's going to help make your clients feel really confident as well.
Yeah. Some other things that you can do as well, like everybody needs to work the best way for them. But for me, I'm reaching out, I'm doing consultations the day before with my clients. So I'll look at everybody I've got booked in the following day, and I'm just going to reach out, give them either a FaceTime call or a phone call, just so I can, make sure that, how they're feeling about their hair already. So I'm trying to prepare myself a little bit more, so I know what to expect, and I can plan a lot more for the following day as well, and know that I'm going to give them the best recommendations, especially because I am going to be limited for the appointment time in the salon, and I don't want to run over. So it's, for me, preparing myself the day before is going to make it a lot easier when I'm working with my clients.
Absolutely. And I think we do have that week now to lead up. So you could use this time now. And when I've been booking clients in myself, I've been asking them, like, do you want to change? And even for like me, I've never been able to have my roots this long. So I've actually been saying, I'm thinking of changing my hair, and I'm the stylist. So a lot of people are going to be in that same space as well. And this is where your step 2, your consultation, is going to be a little bit different. And we're going to do things at different times. So normally your consultation would be, your guest comes into the salon, you sit down, you have a conversation, and that would be your consultation. Whereas now we've completely blown the doors off of that, and you could have a Zoom conversation. So you could plan some time at the end of the day, and you could book Zoom 15-minute slots, give your clients the code, you sit in a quiet place in the salon and you have a Zoom consultation. So you're already taking that edge off of that anxiety. Or it could be a phone conversation. It could be a digital conversation. I've had a few of my girls that have had clients message on our Facebook page. And so we've just sent some consultations back first. Send me a picture of what your hair looks like now. Send me a box, send me the picture of the box that you've used to dye your hair with, so we can start to build a picture already and set ourselves up to win moving forward. So we know, okay, when that client walks in, it's not the first time I've seen her, and they have already had that conversation. And it might just be a phone call. Have you dyed your hair? No, I haven't done anything. Yes, thank you. That makes my job a lot easier. But then you already know that before you got that client in your chair. So the consultation will be starting at a different point now, and it'll be starting before you see them in the salon. That preparation is going to help your anxiety levels amazingly, because you're going to already have that set up to win mentality. You're going to know what you're doing. It's not a surprise when they walk in the door, which that for me is going to really help.
Definitely. And some of you would have had our plan your day sheets. And I used to do it in the morning. I would go and I'll have a look and see who I've got booked in, what they're booked in for, have I got room to upgrade them, when did they last purchase products. So by writing it all down, you're like really preparing yourself. You're seeing it visually, so you're going to make it happen. But by doing the consultations beforehand, I'm like filling out my forms of my clients that I've got booked in, so I already know how my day is going to run as smoothly as possible.
Yeah, I'm going to make a conscious effort as well to make sure I go in at least 20 minutes before. Part of my salon policy is that the girls will change on site, so they will come in and they will get changed. So you're already going to have to turn up early anyway. And then I'm going to get them to look at their day, plan ahead, and think, okay, so I have this client in, she might need this type of treatment, she may take these products home. Have a look at the history. What did she take last time? If she took products at all? What does she take? And start to get in your head each client what they need and what you would like to go through, and then that will help you with your consultations. If you head over to Eufora Nation and Facebook page, I did a 4-part consultation and video over Zoom with my Eufora tribe, and it was really interesting, and it was really opening for me that they had the 4 parts of the consultation, which is what they want, what you feel they need, your prescription, and maintenance. And once you cover all of them, that makes your consultation so much easier, because then what they want and what you feel they need might be 2 very different things. And they probably might want to have, they might have Karley's hair to start and they want to finish with my hair. And we know that doesn't happen on 80 quid. Like, we know that doesn't happen, but that's what they see. And so then they go, this is what I want. So I want this, but I'm currently dark with like Karley's hair. And then we know, okay, this is what you need then. And this is how we're going to do that. And then at the end, this is how you look after. And that, honestly, if you cover all of them, it's just going to really help you a lot. And I think that's something we could desperately implement right straight away.
Definitely. And I think with the dry consultation, step 2, for me, I'm already doing it digitally. I'm speaking to all my clients, like sending them out a digital consultation. And I'm recommending on my consultation that everybody books in for a mineral remover, just to really prep their hair, or upgrading them to treatments, just to really, it's an important time. We don't know what the concerns of their hair are at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so many people have had messages with people having hair loss, scalp concerns, and their hair's a lot more damaged because they've not been able to have it cut. And I know even my ends, I'm desperate for a haircut. So it's a time that we can really upgrade our clients, and we do have, and we're going to upload it after our webinar today, of the rituals, the Eufora rituals that you can do. There's 4 different rituals to choose from. One, like the scalp rejuvenator,
mm-hmm.
Which is using the beautifying serum and the urgent repair.
Mm-hmm.
And it tells you, breaks it down exactly how to do it on the client as well. So I would upgrade your clients in consultation beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So you've booked out enough time to make sure that they're all having some sort of treatment in salon upon their return.
Perfect. So I'll just repeat, because Maria put a question in, could I repeat the 4 parts? So part 1 is what they want. So find out what they want. And this is your time to just sit back. What do you want me to do? What is it you want from your hair? These are the type of questions of, how would you like to feel? Like, what do you want to achieve? What's your hair goals? Who's your hair idol? Start to dig out as much from them as possible. And it might be a picture of them in the 80s, but if that's what them, and that's where their mind is, and that's where their mindset is, we need to find that out. Because once we understand and we have that clear image of what they want, whether it's achievable or not, don't worry about that part yet. That's for you to figure out in the next section. So we listen to everything that they want. Then you go on to what do they need. So we would know that if Karley wants to change her hair color and lift up to something like mine, it's a process. It's not going to happen straight away. We need to have a plan ahead. So then we say to them what you need. You're going to need color removers. We're going to need to lighten that hair. We're going to need to lighten it a lot. We're going to need home care with that. This is what you need. Then you're going to go into your prescriptions. So this is when you have it. So think about when a doctor, easiest way for me to think about it, you go into the doctor, you say what's wrong with you. I'm not feeling very well. And then they go, okay, you need some antibiotics. And then they tell you what antibiotics they are, how they work, and when they work. So we would say to them what products they need. Then we go on to when we're going to do that, when they use it at home, when they're going to have that service in the salon. Do they need treatments? Will they need ongoing treatments afterwards? And we know that having platinum hair, you need a platinum card to keep on top of that. And they don't often understand that. So it's our time to really explain that in the prescription. And then your maintenance is then their home care, how often they need to come back to the salon. Toners, do they need to have toners every 2 weeks? Will they need to have color elixirs every time? Is that maintenance going back after the visit? How is it going to be in the upkeeps, especially on some of these really vibrant colors, these like really like the bang colors that are really bright and loud, then they're the colors we know are going to fade. And so how are we going to look after them, the maintenance going forward of that, and going past that visit, creating that compelling future. And it's really interesting, that kind of concept, because at this moment in time, every client is off the market. Yeah, we're booking them back in, but everyone had no hairdresser. So we have an opportunity to really show what we're doing and create FOMO. Let your clients know this is what's happening. If you're posting on your Instagram and on your social media about Corona and how excited you are to come back, you need to put more than that. You need to put more. You need to put, what are they missing out on? You know, where are we going to be taking the business? What's going to be going forward? And then other people and prospective clients that currently don't have a hairdresser, or they don't feel valued, they don't feel safe in their salon, because there'll be a lot of salons that don't wash the towels every time, that didn't wash the gowns every time, that barely cleaned a brush once a month. Them salons are going to have clients that are going to go, actually, I don't feel safe there. I need to find a new hairdresser. And who are they going to look to? They're going to look to you because you've been letting people know this is what we do, this is what we're about, and we're different. But you've got to do it. We can tell you the stuff, but we can't make you do it.
Yeah, it's the implementing part that it's really going to make a difference, and sharing the information as well. So I think like that's the 4 points, very important when it comes to dry consultation. And also with dry consultation, I think we mentioned as well, before we would sit down next to our client, but with the guidelines, we must stand behind. But I would explain that to your client. We're gonna have a consultation slightly different to how we normally would. So I'm going to be standing behind, but I'm going to be talking to you through the mirror. And I think that way we're like letting them know what we're doing, because they're going to think, why aren't you sitting down? Like everything's going to be feeling a little bit uncertain. So we need to just take lead, and that's what our clients need at the moment.
Yeah. And you will have some clients that are going to, there will be some people that have sensory issues, and they're not going to feel comfortable wearing a mask the whole service. And it isn't at the moment a requirement for them to wear it for the whole service. It's down to your policy. So some of the things that I'll be implementing is I will ask them to wear it. But if they do want to take it off throughout their colour development time, they're not allowed to speak. So if they want to talk to us, they have to put the mask back on to be able to speak. And it is a mandatory when they have their hair washed, and it's a mandatory when they are face on for them to wear it. So at least there is some short times that is absolutely, that has to be worn. And then if they choose, because they might think, oh, to keep it on for 3 hours, it's irritating. I did a little run through the other day and I wore it all day, and it is just different. It's just getting used to that new different. So like Karley said, prepare them when you come in, and let them know that this is how the service is going to run. This is how it's going to feel. And I've actually put in my policy that my stylist will be a bit quieter to help them concentrate, to give you the best hair, because every client is going to be like a new client coming in. So they need that concentration time. So set yourself up to win. Get that on the table straight away, so they know what to expect going through.
Definitely, because I feel like you don't want to spend the whole appointment talking about, just let them know what to expect. And then I would definitely not be talking too much about coronavirus. I wouldn't be talking about it at all. No. Like, just it's a chance for us. Like, what a great time to be alive for hairdressers, because all of our clients realise the importance of us as hairstylists now. So I think putting your new regulations, put it out there, get it out there, done, so then we can do what we're meant to do, really focus on their hair and find solutions for their hair. So like some consultation questions, like they're going to be slightly different to what they have been, because obviously we've not seen our clients for the past 12 weeks. But one question that I like to ask all my clients is, how do you feel about your hair on a scale of 1 to 10? So I can see how they're feeling. And sometimes I even write it down in my notes as well, on their client notes. So feeling at a 2 or feeling at a 5. So now I say, oh, last time it felt like this after I seen you 6 weeks previous. So I can just see, and a lot of them probably aren't feeling great about their hair at the moment, so they hadn't had it done in so long. And by the end of the appointment, I will ask the same question again. So, and I will ask them for their, like, what I can do to make their hair better. So I'm giving them, they're going to give me the permission to do whatever I need to do to achieve their hair dreams and their hair goals.
Yeah. And it's also about managing that expectation as well. And that's where I think if you get it all out in the open, you find out exactly what they want, and then we can manage that expectation. But the role plays videos, they've been broken up into 4 videos. They're on Eufora Nation, and I'm pretty sure we shared them into our group, didn't we?
They're really good videos. If you haven't seen them, we'll probably be able to upload them.
But I think they're either in the eSorb or in our Passion for Hair group. But Deck will pop it up there, and he'll let you know exactly where they got posted to. But have a look on them. They've got some fantastic questions. And then I did a quick live in the Eufora Nation, just asking people to put their questions up, and there were some fantastic questions on there. And if you are doing like your consultations via email, or you're doing it over the phone beforehand, I like to ask, are we changing or maintaining that style? because a lot of people now have been forced to grow their hair, and they might like it. I'm actually considering going a little bit more natural, coming away from that platinum, and growing my hair a little bit. And it's because I've been forced to do that now I'm like, actually, I've got past that worst stage, so I might change it. And it might not be this, I don't think every client's going to be a huge transformation. Some people are going to want to go back to exactly what they was before. Some people like where they've faded to now, or where they've grown out to, and they want to kind of just freshen it up. And there will be some people that go, do you know what, I want to change it completely. I was blonde, I've done a box dye, I now want to go red. You will have them odds, but I don't think worry yourself that every single client's going to be that change big client. But I think just ask them questions, how they feeling about their hair, do they want to change? That's going to then start to get you into that what do they need section, whether it's able to do that.
A lot of my clients who I've been speaking to, nearly all of them want to have a change, nearly every single one of them, but a lot of my clients like to change anyway. But it's given me the opportunity now, and I've got the time. I'm pre-conditioning them and already putting a hair plan in place. So, you know, it's great. Everybody's upgrading. So it's so important to get that information.
Yeah. And it's just about preparation. And I think once you've got that and you know, and I think each salon will have their own different way of doing it, but these are just some options for you to take away. So let's go on to our step 3, which Karley, you did actually start to introduce the cleansing rituals, because there are some different menus that Eufora offer for you to be able to mix some of the conditioners and the treatments together to create some amazing experiences at the backwash. But this is going to be a very intimate time when we first go back. So when we first go back, we'll be wearing visors and we'll be no talking, but I've always tried to implement no speaking and keeping quiet into the basin when they're having their hair cleansed. And now is the perfect time for me to really, really hone that in, and that become our new normal, that then clients will just get used to relaxing in there, because it was really difficult to implement that at the beginning. But now that's what I've always wanted for the business, and now it's easy to do that I've just put it in a policy. You don't speak through your hair wash, you wear a face mask, you sit and relax. There's no option. So what a fantastic opportunity that we can actually start to do that. And like Karley said, if you're already kind of letting people know about the treatments that are available, people are going to want to feel pampered. They've not had a holiday. They've not been away. People haven't been buying clothes because we've not been going out anywhere. And so we're the first luxury that they can't even have their nails done. Do you know, we're the first luxury thing that they can actually do and like make them feel better. And so this is a really, really good opportunity to make that particular time very special. But I think have that protocol that is the same, and all of your team do that. And you as a stylist, you're confident, you know exactly what's happening, and you're clear and you understand. So that it just makes it flow a lot easier. So there's no awkward, oh, sorry, we're not allowed to speak now.
Yeah, definitely. And for me, what I'm going to be doing on step 3, which is our rejuvenating shampoo and scalp massage.
Thank you, Karley.
To really make it, to really relax our clients so that they don't speak. And that is going to be the policy. Is I'm going to be using like some little towels. I'm just going to like make a little like blindfold, like just, or what's it called?
Eye mask.
An eye mask, yeah, not a blindfold. That putting like a nice little eye mask over them, making sure we're using the natural essential oils to really create a nice mood for our clients, so they can just have a little nap in the backwash whilst we shampoo, and to keep it really quiet. And I know some of you, when you've come to our elite salon owner networks and come into the Eufora salon specialist, and we come up with the idea of having the shush.
Yes, the decals or the big transfer stickers, and they had like shh, like relax, and I'm pretty sure they're still available. But you could use that. You could put them in photo frames. So you could just have like frames on the walls, or create that whole experience. So we've got. Behind me, we've got the humidifier here, which is part of the wellness collection, and we could really use this and utilize this a lot to create that real spa-like feel, to make them feel really relaxed and kind of utilize this. We won't necessarily be able to do the testers just yet and do the hand massages, but this is something moving forward that we could create that spa-like experience, and that's a really amazing thing. Has some candles going, so when they walk in, even though we've asked them to be quiet, we're also creating that environment they want to be quiet. You know, when you go into a spa and you walk in and you go, oh, and you know instantly you need to be quiet in that room. That's the kind of experience that would be really, really helpful for you to create. Therefore, it takes that edge off, so they kind of walk in and they know the room and they go, okay, I need to be quiet in here.
Yeah, I think it's done us a favour, really. We've wanted them to be quiet throughout step 3 anyway, and now it's, you know, we have to do it. It's the guidelines. So it's great. It's a great time for us that already a part of the Eufora family. We're finally being able, we have a reason to really put this in place.
Yeah, and I think that leads on to our step 4, which is your precision cutting. And for me, I am a bit of a chatterbox, as you could probably tell. Those that know me, I do love a chat. But I found this very difficult to implement because I'm so used to kind of talking a lot throughout my haircut. And the client, I think, feels sometimes a bit awkward. They feel like they need to talk in this time. So this is a perfect time as well. And I've actually written this in my policy. If you want to have a little look, it's on my website. And have a look on my Instagram. I put a big thing up saying that your stylist may be a bit quieter, your service will feel a little bit different, and we need to do this to reduce risk and to help the clients help the stylist concentrate. Because already I know that when we walk in, and I know a lot of my team are feeling this way as well, we feel anxious, we feel nervous. You have the skill set, or you wouldn't be a busy stylist. So you've got the bits, you know what you need to do, you've got the tools, you've got the equipment. It's just now getting in there. And I think the longer it's been, the worse this is sort of built up inside of us. But I think having that acknowledged already and just having that time to be able to say, actually, I need to concentrate now. And all these haircuts and colours are going to be a little bit different. So I've actually just popped that in the policies, going out in an email. And it's just a really little bit that just says, your stylist may be a bit quieter. We ask that you give them that opportunity to concentrate. And I think just saying that just gives them, oh yeah, they will need to concentrate throughout my hair, and I want them to concentrate. And I think just acknowledge that, and maybe in your step 2, just say, okay, this is a bit of a change today. We're doing things a bit differently. And when I am doing this today, when I am cutting your hair, when I'm applying your colour, and I would ask that we just keep conversation to like a minimum, just so I can really concentrate and focus on your hair. And I would love to find a client that would say no to that. There won't be anyone that will say no to that. And I think it's the way you put it across. Make sure you don't just go, oh, I need to talk, and then you stop that really awkward moment and when they are talking and you're running behind, because there's no wiggle room. There is no wiggle room to fall behind. And so I think just acknowledging it and just say, but that's part of this step as well. So a great chance to implement that.
I think as well, like, just letting our clients know that the experience is going to change, but letting them know we want to create more of a relaxing experience. That's the approach I'm taking. So being told that we need to keep chat to a minimum, as we all know when we're doing, we should anyway, but keep it specific. But letting my clients know it's going to be more of a relaxing environment for you. So conversation will be limited, but I'm really going to be focusing on your hair, and you're going to be wearing this style every day for the next 6 weeks. So it's important that I get it right for you, and I want you to relax whilst I'm doing it. And again, what we do when planting the seeds, let them know that we want to see them again within 6 weeks, because so many clients have gone 12 weeks and they might think that they can go without having their hair done as regularly. But it's a chance for us to just explain where it's gonna, we need to get the hair back into condition. We need to keep on top of it. And when you're, feeling at your best with your hair as well, instead of letting it go.
Definitely. And I think if you hit that at 3 points, so like Karley said about managing expectation, letting them know their maintenance. So you're starting to talk about it in your step 2, because you're talking about maintenance in our consultation. When do they need to come back in? How often do we need to see them? How do they look after it? And then when you get to like your step 4 and also in your step 5, that's when you can actually start to talk about, okay, so we've taken this much off. It's going to grow this much. We need to keep on top of it, your condition. And we start to introduce that maintenance again. And then if you hit that towards the end of the visit as well, when you're booking in advance, then that's going to help you as well, because then you can say you've hit it 3 times, and statistics show if you say something 3 times or mention it 3 times, that information stays in their mind a lot more.
Power of 3.
Exactly. That's exactly what we need to do. Lovely. Anything else you want to add for your step 4, Karley?
So with the precision cut, again, it's just I would be, if I am going to talk at all, I would be saying to the client how I'm cutting and why, and just literally keeping it hair focused. So that's.
Yeah, perfect. That's exactly the same. Just really focus on the hair. And I've been sort of thinking in my consultations to help manage this conversation is I'm kind of not going to ask them too much about themselves. I'm going to say, it's great to see you today. Let's get straight down to business. How's your hair been? Straight in with the questions. And then I'm going to ask them a bit more in maybe that step 5 when we're talking about the perfect finish. So how have you been looking after your hair at home? How have you been? Let's talk about how we can get you looking great and feeling great moving forward. And that's your time, I think, to have that conversation and to have that time to actually talk, because I think if we're silent the whole way through the haircut, clients won't become loyal to us because they need to find that people buy into knowing about you. And I'm not saying share everything about you, but I think having that moment to feel authentic and to say, how are you? How are things? Let me show you how I can make you feel better. Let me show you how you can look after your hair better. Let me show you how I can make you just uplift yourself, because they're all going to be feeling flat on the floor. So this is a time to really kind of utilize that conversation to help make you money and make you loyal clients for the next time and the next time and the next time, because that's how we're going to build a business, and that's how we're going to grow and thrive through this whole situation.
Definitely. And with our step 5, the perfect finish, keeping, again, we need to be keeping chat to a minimum throughout the whole experience. But when I am talking to my client, I'm talking to them about the products that I'm using on their hair and how I'm using that product. And for me, it's really important, because when we are working with products, it's about how we present it to the client and how we apply it. But we're not going to be able, I would normally get the product, put some in my hand. You want to pass me one over? Sometimes I would spray it on my hand, and I would get it and I would like spray it into my client's hand, put the bottle into her hand. But what we can do is we can put the product into her hand without her touching the bottle. So just so they can feel it themselves, they can smell it, they get a sense for it. But when
you could like apply like this, there's no actual like contact. So you could do something like that. And something I would be recommending that all of my team do is before they do that, just grab a hand sanitizer and just pop a little bit in their hands and just get them to, and you do it as well, just to kind of make sure you're kind of following. So if they do touch anything and they have just had freshly sanitized hands, still going to need to wipe the bottle down, but it just takes that edge off of, oh, yeah, we've got them panic all stations. No one touch that bottle, no one touch that bottle. It just sort of takes that edge off, and it will become the new normal. It will become something that's completely normal. And after a couple of times, you'll get used to it. But I think the easiest way is to show them, or I'll show you, like an expensive bottle of wine. And I always hold it. So don't just go, oh, this is the product you need. I would always hold it like this. Something I love to do, if you struggle talking to clients about your products, so I'd say, this is urgent repair shampoo, and then I would open and would show them exactly how much. You could do it that way, and you show them, and then you could create a bit of an aromatherapy experience, and you could say, like, you'll be able to smell the product, and I would go like this rather than just smell the product, because if you do it like this, they're going to smell it a lot easier rather than us going, oh, shoving your hand under their nose. Plus, I think there'll be a lot of people that'll be very nervous about coming in. So just be aware of that. For every person that doesn't really care about it, there'll be another person that is really nervous about it. So don't get too complacent with that. So make sure that I would always cater for someone that is a little bit on the nervous side, rather than the person that really doesn't care and is sort of not washing their hands and things like that, because then you're going to be setting yourself up to lose there. We don't want to do that.
No, and I think just to add on to that, like, it's a great chance for now hairstylists to really get to keep that reputation going now, because our clients have realized how important we are, and we've not always had the best reputation. Hairdressers haven't, about being professional. So we must keep that professionalism going at all times. So we need to think about what we're doing a little bit more, but still keeping it specific to an enjoyable experience. So one thing that I used to do in step 5 was I would get my clients to maybe hold the hairdryer, hold the brush, and have a go at doing it themselves. I'm not going to be doing that in my first phase of going back. But I will be talking about what tools I'm using and why I'm using that tool specifically for that hair type, how I'm using that tool. So it's going to be, again, just keeping it specific to that client for the needs of her hair and how she can then create that style at home, which I think a lot more clients are going to be listening a lot more to what we're saying, because they've been at home for 12 weeks and they need to know how to do their hair. So they probably wish that they took more advice or took notes last time we were talking them through how to create that look at home for themselves as well.
Something that's really blown my mind with this particular step is it's the hardest step for stylists to implement, because you have that fear of uncertainty and doubt that you think no one's going to want to listen, no one takes my advice. But watch shopping channels. And that's where I get my biggest inspiration from. If they can sell your product through the TV that you cannot smell, you cannot touch, you cannot really see, you're just seeing what they're showing you, get some really good tips from them, because they can sell you something, then you can use some of them tips to actually start implementing in the salon to make it a lot easier. So it doesn't feel too like a hard sell, but it's just the way they hold the product, the way they describe the product, the information, they just give you key factors. It's not like a huge in-depth. But what I found worked really, really well for me during the lockdown is I've been doing live videos on, just like I did a braiding one, and since I've done the braiding one, there's had over 4,000 views on that. And that's because people crave information. They crave the information and they're saturated, but is it good quality? And so you could maybe utilize that and do little short videos on your social media or on your website. So this is the brush that I would use, and here's how I would use it. If you want some more information, there's a video you could go to on our website. There's a link you can go to on our Instagram, and it just helps you that then they can't like hold that brush, but they might be able to see you using it. So we've got a really good video on how to paddle brush and blow dry your hair. I'll talk you through it today, but if you go to our, onto our website or onto our Facebook or onto our Instagram or whatever, then there's a really good how-to on there, because that's what people honestly are going nuts for. And exactly what Karley said, they wish they'd listened in the first place.
And I love what Maria's just said actually. She, in step 5, she's going to ask if they want to film on their phones, blow dry and styling. Love that. And it's something that we've always said that we have the option of doing, but not really many people have took us up on that option. But I think now a lot of clients are using technology a lot more. So they're, and they are getting more information from online, but no better than having it from their own personal stylist that they can watch and take it home and do on their own hair as well. So I love that, Maria. It's brilliant.
And I think you could use this time to plan for past the first 6 weeks, and when we are able to host events in the salon, really consider having a hands-on event. And honestly, they go really, like before, they went down really, really well in the salon, but I think now people are going to snap these up, and you could really utilize this and say, we're doing this now, but eventually we want to move into this. And you could offer so part of one of our loyalty systems is they can book like a one-to-one experience with us, and we show them how to blow dry. And like we did an experience before where they brought in all of their equipment, and you might think, oh my gosh, why would you do that? But I want to see what they're using, because I can quite often guarantee it's not going to be the quality that we use. And so what we do is we see what they do with their products, and then they do it with our products, and they will see the difference. And that is a really good way to start to implement that perfect finish and really make it a experience, and make them feel it, make them go through the motions with you. And then when they go home and they have then learned new skills, they think of you every time they blow dry their hair, which keeps that client coming back every single time and creates that loyalty sort of deep rooted in them, which then they recommend you, and then they're going to tell their friends about you, and they're going to write review. And that's how you can really build a strong business and a strong clientele, just because you told someone how to hold the hair dry properly.
Definitely. And I think as well, in step 5, it's important to talk about other ways that they can wear their hair as well. So for me, if I go and get my makeup done, my makeup artist will be talking to me about which product I should use on which part of my face and which brush I should use. And then she talks me through how I should do it for like day makeup, or if I'm going out nighttime makeup, and what different products I would need to create the different looks. And that's something when we're going there, when I'm going to get my makeup done, I'm paying to have that done. And I that's all I want to hear is how can I look better with my makeup. So it's important that as a hairstylist, we're talking to our clients of how they can create the looks with the tools, but maybe how to change that look for, maybe if they're going to work, or maybe if they, hopefully be able to go to a restaurant or something. So it's being able to give them different tips and advice for different looks that they want to create. And at the moment, there isn't no particular trend in the hair industry. The trend is healthy hair, whether it's healthy, big, bouncy hair, or whether it's healthy, silky, smooth hair. So we need to make sure that we're giving our clients options of different looks that they can create with the cut that we're putting in place for them. And also when we're doing the great finish, we're prepping the hair for the end style, making sure we're putting all the correct products in to get the ultimate look at the end. And we need to make sure that we're using the products. We need to tell the clients that they need to be using the products at home to achieve it, because
Absolutely.
we wouldn't be able to achieve it without them either.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, share like the quality of the products. I know and I can believe in Eufora that what they say on the bottle is exactly what it does, and I'd just like to explain that it's a recommendation. If someone asked you to say, I don't know, your client said, what's a good film to watch? Or I've seen loads on that social media at the moment. What's some Netflix? What's everyone watching on Netflix? And I guarantee that I'll get 60 comments in like a second. And so if you're quite happy to recommend a Netflix series to someone, why would you not recommend a shampoo that you know is going to solve their problems?
Exactly. I love that analogy.
Yeah, honestly, I've seen it so much. Or I've watched so much documentaries. What else is there? And you've probably seen it as well. You'd recommend a holiday destination. You'd recommend a restaurant. And people are recommending loads at the moment because they want small businesses to survive. And so this is your time to just recommend. That's all it is. I recommend this product's going to work for you. This is how it works. The easiest way I find to talk about products is what it is, how it works, and why they need it. Simple. This is urgent repair. You need urgent repair because it helps moisturize, hydrate, and it's a deep cleanser. You're starting to work out a little bit more because during your lockdown, you've actually taken up and doing some exercising and going out on your walks, and you're really enjoying that. So it means your oil is going to build up a bit quicker in your hair. So this is something I'd recommend to you, or recommend to you because it's deep cleansing but moisturizing at the same time. How you use it is a 20p size, but make sure these are 100% ingredient products. There's no water in these. You must break that product down into your hands and turn it into a cream. That will happen. And we do it twice. We do 2 shampoos. The first one to remove the oil and the build-up of products, and the second one to really cleanse that hair and make sure it's squeaky clean. So simple. Easy. You're giving them something to go away with. You told them about the product, why they need it, and how to use it as well. Makes it a lot simpler, and people then tend to take the product a lot easier. So hopefully that might be a tip you can take home with you if you're scared about talking about products. So it's an easy way to introduce.
Definitely. It's just keeping it simple as well, with the 3 points of what, how, and why. Definitely. Keeping it simple.
Yeah, definitely. And identify products that people really need, rather than you just thinking, I need to sell products. And once they experience it for the first time and you solve that problem, it really helps. And you can go onto the Eufora site, and actually, no, don't go onto the Passion P4H Pro. That's what it is. P4H Pro. Eufora does also have all the information, but the P4H Pro site is a lot easier to work, but it has all the fact sheets on there. And, you know, you've got another 10 days until we go back now? So you've got 10 days, just swat up, get some key facts in there, because knowledge is power. So it's your time to kind of prepare yourself. Let me just swat up on the products, especially if you're new to taking on Eufora or you don't use it often because you're not really 100% sure. Get onto P4H Pro, and it has on their fact sheets that you can just quickly go through and just refresh your memory, because we are a little bit rusty and we completely understand that as well.
Lovely. Yeah, so step 5.
So do you want to quickly, because we've got here a question, and
okay.
Maria, thank you, Maria, on fire today. What dialogue do you use when someone asks, I love this, when someone asks what they can buy in the supermarket that's good? Okay. I'll say what I said. I'm sure, Karley, you'll have something as well. So what I tend to say is, okay, that's amazing. What I would recommend is that it depends your client whether you're brave enough to say this, but if the products in supermarkets were as good as they claim to be, hair salons would endorse them. I don't endorse them because I know the products that I use are a lot better, that they are more cost effective because the amount you use, because these are 100% ingredient, there's no water in them. Whereas I welcome you to have a look at your products, and I guarantee the first ingredient on there will be agua, that is water. And then you're paying for a really expensive bottle of water. Whereas with this is 100% concentrate. So, you know, like the juices, you get the squashes that are double concentrate, so you use less product. But that's exactly kind of what these are, but these are 100% product. So you use such a small amount because it will go a lot further. So you would normally probably buy a shampoo every other time you went on the food shop. You probably need to buy once every, depends on your frequency of shampoo, but one every 3 to 6 months, depends on how often you wash your hair. So you would spend more money to start with, but you would make that money back tenfold, and the quality will reflect in your hair as well.
Definitely.
So it's a bit of a lengthy one, but I think just say, if they're as good in the supermarkets as they claim to be, I'd have them on my shelves in a roundabout way, whatever suits your personality. You'll probably say it in maybe a slightly different way, but that's the message you want to get across. And I just find that's an easier way just to nip it in the bud. What box style would you recommend? I wouldn't.
So sometimes what I do when they ask, I answer depending on my client I'm working with. I answer it in different ways, but sometimes I say exactly what Nicole said as well, like we would have them in the salon if they were any good. But sometimes I then ask them a question. So if they were to ask me, what shampoo would you recommend from a supermarket, I would then ask, well, why would you want to buy a shampoo from a supermarket? Have you thought about buying a shampoo through us if I give you my professional recommendation? And then I would talk about the difference between professional shampoo and supermarket shampoo, and there is a whole lot of points of difference, and I can list them for you after and upload it if you want. But clients are interested. They want to know. They are more interested now about ingredients and what we're using, and compared to what they are getting in the supermarket.
Yeah, and that was something really interesting when I was doing a blow dry and a live blow dry class. I started talking just a little bit about the beautifying serum, and I just said, oh, it has a combination of 4 oils. So you've had the buzz oil, the argan oil, it has that in there, but it also has 3 other oils. And I just did like a brief explanation, and I was using it on my hair when I was doing the blow dry. And then the comments started coming in. Where do I get that? Where's it from? And they all sort of went through. And so people they want that information. I think when they understand the difference and the buying habits, like I love that question. Like, why would you want to choose one from a supermarket? Find out their buying habits. Do they see hair products as a bit of a me too? A me too product is the same wherever you go, like milk, sugar, bread, and people tend to buy them on price or convenience. Are they buying shampoos from a supermarket because it's convenient, or is it because they think it's cheaper and it's easy and they're going to get the same results as what they would with a hair product from a salon? And as soon as we break that down and explain to them, this isn't like normal shampoos. There are so much more that go into these products than what go into the products on the shelves. And I like to explain as well that on the ingredients list, that is actually a list of showing them how much of that ingredient is in there. So the first ingredient is the most, and as it works down, it gets less and less and less and less. And so they might go, oh, this is an aloe product. I use an aloe product. Ask them to see how far down is aloe on there. Because it's such a small amount they need to have in that bottle to call themselves a buzzword aloe product. But I like to share that information with the clients as well.
And definitely, and some of the product knowledge that we have, and we can send that over. But, inside any product that has aloe, it needs to be at least 40% for it to actively work or have any benefit for the hair or scalp. So when it does have it on the bottle and it's very low down, it's not going to be 40%. So it's just in there to be written on the bottle. That's the only purpose of it. So, but that all comes under all the product knowledge. And when you know the product knowledge, it will make it a lot easier because you'll be a lot more confident in your recommendation as well. So having your knowledge on the product is really important, and sharing that information as well.
Yeah, and the quality as well. The quality is really important. That it might have aloe in there, but where they source it from, what quality is it? Is it a really, because let's face it, like Primark, they've started doing makeup and hair products and stuff like that. But where are they sourcing that ingredients from? We know that this has got certified aloe in there. So it's pharmaceutical grade, certified aloe in there. And so I know it's the best quality aloe that's on the market is in our hair products as well. So I like to just share that. But I would say when you're talking with clients, you will have clients that you're hot clients that love products. You just say, this is a new product, I know it's going to work. And they go, brilliant, I'll have to. And they're your hot clients that buy regularly. And then you have your clients that are warm. So they need a little bit more information. They buy now and again, but they like to kind of know a bit more what's going into them. And then you have your cold clients that don't buy products ever. But you can win them over. You just need to find out what do they need to know about a product for them to be able to make a purchase. So that type of question of like what makes you buy your products from there, that'll make you understand why do they make them choices. Do they value it high? Do they value it low? What makes them choose them products? And I have a lady that I took on, and she never buys products. She's so loyal though. She comes every 2.5 weeks and she has her roots done every single time and a cut and finish every single time. And I'm happy to keep her and we take off the smidgen amount, but she never buys products. And so when I started to tap into, hang on a minute, she was buying Laura Mercier face cream. She was buying LMS stuff. And we would start talking and she buys the most expensive perfume. So she's got the money and she appreciates quality, but she didn't understand. And the stylist previously that I took her on from never explained the quality of the products. And as soon as she understood the quality, she now buys products. So I converted a cold client to a warm client. And sometimes you can convert warm clients to hot clients. But I think, identify, and you know them people, you know them as soon as they walk in. And that's the fear, that we focus on them cold clients rather than them hot clients that take easy. So that's a really good thing, to just really analyze them clients. And even if you've never thought of it before, now they're coming in, start to analyze. Where do they buy the products? How are they buying products? And then we can sort of then adapt how you recommend your products to them, because they might need to know the ingredients, or they might just want to know the benefits. And that will just really help you to start to introduce that in your perfect finish as well.
Yeah, I love that. It's really finding their value. And it reminds me of what Daniel was saying on Wednesday. You know, if you have a client and you've been doing them for years and they've never brought a shampoo from you, I would be interested to know why. But I think, you know, I probably wouldn't be brave enough to go straight in there with the question. I'd have to build up. But finding out their spending habits, then I'm understanding them a little bit more. And then I would ask why they've never brought product from me, when they trusted me to colour, cut, everything their hair. Well, why aren't they buying the product from me for my recommendation either? But yeah. We going into more questions. I think Deck's got another question that he wants us to answer now.
Yeah.
If you have other ranges of product in the salon, how do you manage the different choices you have? For example, you have 2 types of shampoo, but both are really good. Okay, so that's from Matt. Thank you, Matt. So are you talking about, if you have, so it's 2 different ranges in the salon?
So I think maybe like the taboo. So if you have, say, urgent repair, and then you have the color protection, how would you explain why you've made them choices, and why did you make that choice in the first place? So there'll be a time that I would choose taboo. One, maybe because I know their spending habits, and I know that the price difference is there, and that will make an impact, because people might buy on price. They want a really good quality product, but they haven't got the budget to stretch to a £20 heat protection. So I would always recommend, these are your options, these are the price points. I love this product, and then leave the options to them. And if they say, oh, what would be better, then you can say, I feel for your hair, and make that decision. I feel for your hair, knowing these products, that's a really good product for you. Yeah,
it's taking the lead, and it's definitely a price thing. So you've got to find out and ask the client, what is your budget? What is your, finding out their spending habits again? That's what it's coming down to. What is your budget today? I would recommend, and me always, will be Eufora, because I know how it performs, and the natural ingredients. You've got other benefits from it, that you know, that they're multi-purpose products. But if having 2 different prices of products, you're opening up an app like for all your clients to be able to purchase product from you. Because if you've got clients that purchase from the supermarket, they have an option of a more affordable product range, and then you've got your more luxurious product range. So it's just fine. For me, it always would probably come down to price.
Yeah. And I would probably limit, because the reason I feel like people don't make decisions is we have, I'll just explain something that happened. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and I was listening to this one about being unique, and the reason people find it hard to sort of be unique or make decisions is we have so many options. We get overloaded with how much there is out there, so we end up not making a decision because there's just so much to choose from, and we're scared of making the wrong decision. And my IKEA trip, I met my mum there, and because it's a big store, we were sort of walking around, and she went there thinking, I want to get a plant in a vase, tall enough to stand from the ground up. Now she had this sort of vision, and we got there, because there was so many different options, and there was trees, and there was bushes, and there was shrubs. She couldn't make a decision. We ended up walking away with something completely different. And that's something that I think, do you know what, you're the professional, know your products. And I think when you know your products the best, I don't give them tons. I don't go, this is a good shampoo, this is a good shampoo, this is a good shampoo. I would say, for your hair today and for the maintenance going on, I feel like this shampoo is your best shampoo. If we get you to a really good point, or you change your hair, or we do something different, then I might recommend something else. There are some other ones, and if your budget is slightly different, we can sort of find an equivalent that will suit you, but I wouldn't give them tons of option. I think as a professional, you know the products, and you know what's going to perform the best for your client that day and what they want to achieve, because you know what they want, and so we're going to give them what they need, and then your prescription. So the only time I would ever sort of explain is maybe as if you're at the retail area and they go, what about this shampoo? And I would say, well, my recommendation recommendation is this shampoo, but that's what that does.
Yeah.
And then they might go, actually, no, I might prefer that, but that's their decision. But I think try not to give them too many options. Select the products you want them to have, and then you can go from that. And then if there's any queries, then you can explain the difference between the products.
Yeah.
And I hope that answers your question, Matt.
And also another thing is the price, but also knowing that this is 100% product and has more naturally derived ingredients in there. So it depends what's important to that client as well. Is it that they want a product that is more natural? So finding out their price point and, you know, whether they want something that's more natural for them.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes people just want to try something different and just find out that, okay, what makes you ask that question? Do you want to try something different? Or especially if they've been having the same shampoo for a little while, they might just want to change. And make sure, I just want to know what, like, I've seen that's a new product, especially when you get something new and shiny. We all want something new and shiny and we get distracted by that. So they might go, what's that new stuff? And what's the difference between that and this? And then you just explain the difference. And I think just knowledge and swatting up on that will just really help you moving forward with that.
So I think we've covered step 5. So we'll go on to step 6, back to the 8 steps.
Yeah.
So step 6 is the guest consultation. So we've already spoken about step 2, which is the dry consultation. Step 6 is like you're going back and revisiting and recapping everything that you've done with your client that day. So whatever her wants were and whatever her needs were, we just revisit to make sure we've achieved that. At this point, I would also take a picture of the end result as well. Mm-hmm. And I always ask 3 questions to my clients when I get to the guest consultation. And that is, are they happy with their hair? Is there anything I can do differently for them to make it even better? Mm-hmm. And then I start to think about it like, well, would you refer me to one of your friends? So when we're thinking about, we've been speaking a lot about the 4 R's. So making sure we're getting in the recommendation bit there. So that's when I always bring that part in at the guest consultation. And it just gives us a chance, because you can tell if a client isn't completely happy, we're asking them to give us the permission to change it and make it better. Whereas some people wouldn't be brave enough just to say, well, my fringe is still a bit too long, or can I have it a little bit more around the sides, or a little bit more weight taken out? And we're saying, what can we do? Are you completely happy? So they're not put in that awkward situation and they're not going to go home and feel like, oh, I'm not completely happy with it. We're getting everything out there and making sure we've achieved what we could within that appointment, within our expectations and limitations as well.
Yeah.
So
under promise, overachieve. That's what the aim of the game is. I think if we manage expectations and we start from our step 2 of what we can achieve that day, so we find out what they want, we've told them what they need, their prescription and their maintenance, then what we can do is at this step here is we can then talk about how we manage their expectation. Are they happy? And I love the recommendations. So how would you introduce your recommendations to your client? How would you ask them to recommend you?
Well, I always, in my guest consultation, I would always talk about them recommending and also writing a review as well. Mm-hmm. But I would always say, are you happy with your hair today? And my dialogue I would use is I'm building my clientele. Mm-hmm. And if you're happy and if you can think of somebody who would also enjoy this experience, if you could recommend me, I can give you one of our recommend a friend vouchers, or however you do it in your salon. And then they might say, oh, well, I can think of someone. And I will say, well, who is it? What's their name? What's their hair like? Brilliant. I'd love to meet her. Bring her along, recommend. And then also reward your client for recommending you as well. But, you know, if your clients are your biggest fans, if your client isn't your biggest fan, then you're probably not the hairstylist for them. They're not your client. There's another hairstylist for them.
Yeah.
Because your clients will recommend you to everyone. They will write reviews. And, you know, when we're happy about something, we want to go and tell everybody about it. We want to go and write it on your social media. So, you know, at that moment, whilst the kettle's hot and, you know, you've just completed, you know, you're going back for your guest consultation, it's good to get it in that moment because they're really happy, especially going back as well. They've been waiting so long to get their hair done. So they're going to be absolutely buzzing. So really tap into that at that point about who they can recommend you to, and writing reviews and everything at that point as well.
Yeah, definitely. Also moving sort of forward with this, so past when we first open, and maybe when you have a promotion and you go up a level and you might be charging slightly different, and we have that kind of awkward time where they sort of go, oh, I do love you doing my hair, but, and we have that moment, and then I would actually say, this is your opportunity now to say, okay, that's absolutely amazing, we still love to have you in the salon, we want to keep you here, so let me help you date another stylist. Because sometimes we have that awkward conversation at the end with, oh, do you want me to rebook you? And they go, oh, actually, so having this moment to sit down, that's a really good time to pop that in there as well. Or maybe talking about then going on to your next step, which is booking in advance, is you could then start to talk about the maintenance. So you're 100% happy with your hair today, or we were actually discussing before we came on here that you might have a few of them Heathers that want to have their hair done now. So they've got Karley's hair and they want to end up with my hair and they want it done next week, and they're sort of a bit ignoring the fact that you've got sort of 15 weeks worth of backlog of clients that all want to be first. And so it's sort of managing that expectation and maybe just like addressing that I completely understand and I want to create this transformation for you, but I have got a real backlog of clients that I'm trying to desperately work my way through. So my earliest time I can fit you in is here. I will be putting you on my standby list because people will change. People are going back to work now, and so even though I've been booking people in, I've been booking people in, and then I've had people call me back and be like, oh, actually, I can't do that day now because lives are starting to go back to normal. People are starting to have barbecues and they're starting to have events to go to. So I think it's just like managing that expectation so you don't have that awkwardness of, oh, well, you've really got me hyped up for this now and you can't fit me in for another 4 weeks. So I think manage that really well and sort of just acknowledge it in this time here. Yeah. And just be honest and just say, I'm really sorry, this is the earliest space I've got available.
I think like talking about Heathers as well, like if you do get to step 6 and thinking back to what April said, always about follow up. And what she found, over 10% of her clients weren't completely happy with their appointment or with their hair when she did her following up. And again, it comes down to clients not feeling great at the moment. So in step 6, if they're not happy, like try and get to the bottom of it there and then, so they're more happy when they leave the salon. Really focus on that point. I think step 6 is going to be really important on our return to the salon, and also be authentic with it, because I've been in salons and I've probably shared this before, like when somebody hasn't been happy and the stylist starts like, huffing and puffing, picking up her stuff, like having a little tantrum because she's got to redo certain areas, like it's like, no, we can't be like that. And I've seen it, I've witnessed it, it happens. It does. Really? Yeah, I've seen it.
I've never heard it. No, I've not heard that.
Oh my God. I've heard like people just don't pick, they can't take criticism sometimes.
No, so I suppose, yeah.
But I think when a client isn't completely happy and they're trusting you to finish and correct it for them, then that's a compliment. So always ask, make sure they're happy before they leave.
Yeah, actually, funny you said that. I've been doing some client research, and I handpicked a few of clients in my salon that are really regular, and I want to attract more people like that to the business. So I did a bit of an interview, and that's actually really funny you said that, because there was one particular client that all of them, I asked them like what could happen for us to lose you as a customer, and not one of them said because you did my hair wrong. It's how you managed that. That's what made them keep coming back. There was one particular client that I spoke to, and she's been coming to salon for ages, and she was always went to celebrity hairdressers in London, and she'd been recommended to one of our stylists, and she said, oh, I don't know about going local, blah blah. Anyway, so she came in and then did her hair a couple of times, and then she asked for some pink in her hair, and the stylist said, are you sure, like I'm not sure this is going to be the right thing for you, but she was like, no, I want to have this in my hair. And so stylist did it, and really happy, that was the result she wanted. Went home, and you know when they had that sudden realization of, what have I done? Oh my gosh, you know, they had this sudden I'm going to dye my hair green, and then you do it and you've done everything they've asked, and then they go home and their husband said something about it, or they've looked in their bathroom mirror and it's sort of really sunk in the gravity of what they've done. But then it's when you manage them, because if they're able to share that with you, especially when they're in the chair with you, that's quite a brave thing for them to actually say, no, I'm not happy. But what they might do is they might go away, think about it, and then suddenly something's happened, someone's made a comment. So I would always say, if you're changing something or we're going to be doing something different, just let them know when they go home. People are going to make comments on your hair. People will tell you whether they like it or not, whether you ask their opinion or not. You've done a big change, they will tell you without you even asking. So I manage that expectation there, so that when it does happen, they've left the salon and someone goes, oh my God, you've gone blonde and I prefer you dark. It's them type of comments. Then they start looking and go, oh, I do prefer my hair dark. And oh, why did I do that? And then you end up getting that phone call of them going, I'm not happy with my hair. And it's then sort of managing that. But so yeah, the client called up and stylist said, don't worry, are you free now? And she said, yeah, I'm not going out. And she was refusing to go to work, like really went into this downward spiral. And she said it was the way that stylist managed her expectations. And she came in and not once made her feel awkward, or that it was her. She said, I know it was my fault. She said, I know it's completely my fault. And I said to her, I'm sorry, you've done everything that I've asked. The way the stylist was she was really calm. Don't worry, let's get it sorted. And they solved it and they got it all sorted. And then she didn't charge her. And that was just sort of the cherry on the cake she expected to pay. But then stylist said, no, we can't charge you for that. And she's like, but it was my mistake. And how that stylist dealt with that particular client kept her coming back, and it really created that loyalty.
That client for life then.
That is exactly like what you were saying. It's the way we deal with them, and the way, so if someone does say I'm not happy, it's not being huffy puffy. Oh, for God's sake, I'm going to run behind. It's okay, how can we manage this situation? It might be, you might need to ask them to come back at a different day, because you might not have him just explain that. Okay, I might not have time right this second to maybe put a few more packets in, but maybe could you hang on to this for a couple of days and I can put you in here? Or I think, but giving you that opportunity and managing it in a in an elegant way will make them feel, okay, I feel like I can actually have this conversation with the stylist and not feel awkward.
And that's a good point that you made as well, preconditioning them to what other people are going to say, because I don't always do that, but I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
And a lot of my clients will be going for changes, so I'll be preconditioning them about what other people are going to say. And people have got a lot to say at the moment, I think.
They definitely do. And it's really interesting because I got a bit itchy feet and I was missing doing hairdressing, and I actually bleached my partner's hair. And so his hair actually is like a base 4, 5, and so now he's like my color all over. And so you can imagine the impact, and I'd really set him up to win for that. So I knew, and I said, like, people will say whether they like it or not. People tend to as well. Don't be upset if people say nothing, because also they've got that mentality, if you can't say something nice, don't say it at all. And so sometimes people get offended if people say nothing at all. So that preconditioning, let them know that on social media people will say stuff, and just let them know going past your doors what's going to happen, and also how they need to be looking after it as well.
Yeah. Somebody said that there's something to bear in mind. There's a lot of divorces, so we'll have a lot of breakup hair.
There will be. There will be lots of babies and lots of pregnancies and lots of divorces coming up. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So step 6. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
No, I thought there's everything we've covered there.
Yeah. And then so going into step 7, and as we were on the webinar the other day, a few people were asking for a bit of role play, and we all know how awkward role play can be sometimes, and when you're trying to do role play in the salon with your team. But it is important to do. And I think before going back onto the salon floor of your team, definitely getting you guys to do some role play together. And, we've got a lot of stylists with us today, and a lot of stylists are going to be feeling a bit apprehensive about going back, not just the clients. So we need to make sure that we're doing all the steps together as a team, so it's a nice environment for all of us. But we are going to do some role play for step 7, which is completing the service. And this is, again, really important for clients to be able to maintain their hair at home. And also, it just by having that step in there, we are sharing our knowledge. We're going back through everything with our client, and we are in sales, like Debbie and Daniel spoke about the other day. And this is just making sure that we're giving all the information to our client. It's our job to educate, their job to choose. So if the client makes the wrong choice, at least they know that we have offered and given them all the information. So we are going to do some role play, and Nicole's going to be the stylist, and I'm going to be Heather.
I'll just set the scene. So Karley's going to be Heather, and basically we're going to have that client, okay? Because it's easy doing role plays on easy things, because that's easy. But it's a stylist will grow out of the difficult times. Can you hear me with this visor on? Could everyone just pop a comment? Because
it suits you, Nicole. I think you make it look very glam.
Nice. See my roots there as well. Oh my gosh. The stylist wants like a huge change. Not stylist, sorry. The client wants a huge change. So she wants to feel a bit different, but the booking, because she didn't say on our consultations, do you want to change? No. But since we've asked that question, she's thought about it. She wants to change. So she's come in today and we've only been able to do her roots. So her hair's grown, done her roots. We have spoken about moving forward, but it's now kind of booking that appointment, and you might get that little bit of a kind of backlash with that. So we just want to share what we would do with that.
Okay, so I'm going to come round.
And we're going to pretend there's a mirror in front of us, because we, at the moment, for now, we're recommending that we do this kind of through the mirror just to eliminate that face-to-face contact as well.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put my mask on as well. Because I think as well, it's going to be hard to read your clients' expressions if they're choosing to wear a mask.
Yeah.
So probably we're going to have to learn to read eyebrows a bit.
Yeah, and eyes. Smile with your eyes.
Yeah.
Lovely. Right. Thank you so much, Heather, for coming in today. And I really appreciate you coming in. So moving forward, to create the look we want to, we need to be doing some colour removers, which is our preparation services. We're going to be needing to do some lightening. So we will need to come in. My next availability will be in 3 weeks' time. And then a week after that, we'll have you in to do some of our lightening services through there as well. And how does that sound with you?
Well, I really wanted to go lighter today, and I knew you couldn't fit me in. Can't I come in tomorrow or next week instead?
Oh, I would love to be able to do that. I'm so sorry. I definitely want to do this colour change for you. But unfortunately, I have had a backlog of 15 weeks worth of clients that we're all trying to fit in. And I can't squeeze them in as like we did at Christmas, because with social distancing and with the cleaning times between. So I'm not able to kind of max out my column as much as I did before. So unfortunately, that is my earliest space. What I can offer you, if you want to, is I do have a different stylist maybe you could come in with, or if you're quite happy to sort of hold tight, then I'd recommend start washing your hair a little bit more frequently to start to try and lift some of that hair colour out already. But unfortunately, that is the earliest I've got. Or like I said, I could get some of the preparation services in with a different stylist, and then I could see you in 3 weeks. So maybe 2 weeks time come in with someone to do some colour remover services, and then I'd see you at that 3 week point. So that's a little bit sooner. That's an option I can offer to you. How does that sound?
Yeah, well, that's the earliest you can do. But what can I use? You said I can cleanse it at home or wash it more frequently.
Yeah, I would recommend using Urgent Repair, because that is going to be our deep cleansing shampoo. It's not necessarily going to strip the hair, but washing your hair a bit more regularly will start to lift it up and get in the sunshine. And please do not put any lightening sprays onto your hair. That will actually have an adverse effect, and it will actually make my work a lot harder. So get yourself into the sun, try and wash hair a little bit more frequently, but make sure you are using treatments. We need to get your hair in the best condition possible, because the better condition your hair is, and the stronger the hair is, it means when we come round to lighten it means we can actually lighten your hair a little bit lighter, because the hair is stronger. Healthier hair means I can actually do more with your hair. But I am really sorry, unfortunately, that is the earliest I can offer you. So like I said, it can be in 2 weeks time, and you come in with a different stylist to do the lightening and do the removal services, and then I'll see you in 3 weeks. But unfortunately, that is the earliest I can offer you right now.
Okay. And what about the test cutting that you took out of my hair? When are you going to let me know how that is?
Perfect. So I've taken a little test piece.
Can you do it now?
Right now?
Yeah. And or when will you ring me to let me know it's done? Or
well, I haven't got any scissors on me right this second.
Oh, okay.
But we have got your test piece, and at the end of my day today, that's when I'm going to do your test piece for you.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to do a couple of different tests on them. So I'm going to do an incompatibility test, because this has had a little bit of a home dye on there as well. So we need to make sure that we're not going to be able to have any problems with that. It's not going to kick up anything. And then I'm going to do a porosity test as well, just to make sure your hair is strong enough. And then we're actually going to put your hair through the same process that I would do to your hair all over. So it gives us a bit of a peek into the idea of what your hair is going to do and how it's going to react, just to make sure we can get to your hair goal as quickly as possible, but keeping your hair integrity to the best condition we can. So with that, we're going to do the colour removals that we'll do in your hair in a couple of weeks' time, and then that lightening service, we're going to do that on the hair as well. And I will do that, and I'll get you I'll give you a phone call. If I can't get through to you on the phone call, I've got your email, so I'll ping you over an email as well, and then we'll maybe set a time aside that we can have that phone call.
Okay.
If you want to, and you want to come and have a look at the piece, then we'll book you a little 15-minute slot, and you can come in. You can actually have a look at that hair and have a feel and have a see of it yourself. Because sometimes over the phone and with a picture on like an email, it's not giving you that real clear image, because I want to make sure that we get as close to the pictures of your hair goal as possible. And I think you're going to want to see that. So how about if we test the hair, I give you a call, and then we get you to come in and maybe you just have a little peek just to make sure you're 100% happy, and we can proceed then. How's that sound with you?
Okay, and so what were the products you said that I needed? Why?
So I would recommend, you've got the urgent repair, and then I would recommend the urgent repair treatment. Now use this as your daily conditioner. So when you're washing your hair, you'd use that at the same time. And that's going to help really moisturize, hydrate, but it also helps soothe that scalp as well, because you will be washing a bit more, but it's a deep cleanser, and then you're going to have that treatment through there as well. How's that sound?
Okay, yeah, I want it lighter, so I'll have to do what it takes.
Yeah, I do appreciate you, and I do appreciate your patience as well. I know it is a bit frustrating. Any other time, we'd have been able to get you in a little bit sooner, but it's just the way we are at the moment. And once we get past this big wave, it will just go back to like normal. We'll be able to do this a lot quicker. But yeah, thank you for being really understanding. And if there is any cancellations, of course, you'll be top of my list, and I'll give you a call and we'll get you in ASAP. Okay. But we'll go ahead and get the appointments reserved now, just so we don't lose them, okay?
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Heather. Heather, you threw me off with the test piece. I was like, I've not got any scissors with me.
But I think it is, a lot of clients, I thought the dialogue and explaining, and a lot of clients...
You were hard, Heather, as well.
But I think a lot of clients, and it's going to be important, they are going to want these changes as well. They are going to need the products, and we're not going to have the time to get everyone in for all the services that they're going to want initially. So completing the service is really giving them products that they can go home and prep their hair ready for any of the future services that they want. So it's going to be more of an opportunity for us in the salon to recommend to our clients and for them to be using the best products. And it's going to make our life easier when they do come into the salon for that service.
Yeah. And I think just to be really honest, and I think just say like the situation we're in is unprecedented. We've never had this before, and I can't book you out like Christmas. We can't stack ourselves in as much as we'd love to. And as soon as I explain that to some of the clients, especially on the phones when I have been booking appointments, and they're like, oh, is that the earliest you've got? And I'm like, well, yeah, unfortunately, we only work a certain amount of hours, and so there's only many hours in the days that I can do. And once I start to explain, unfortunately, that we can't do this, and we need cleaning times, and with social distancing, then they start to understand. And I have to admit, 9 times out of 10, they go, okay, fair enough. And so I always offer like different options. I never just sort of go, that's it, that's all you can have, because that will get clients back up, and then they will go off and they will look somewhere else. But I've given a few options there as well. You can come in with a different size, do some preparation services. Or if there's a cancellation list, because people are moving, and you will find that already people will start to move about and things like that. So yeah.
And I think like just way that you dialogue it is really important as well. So saying to your client, your safety is most important to us here at the salon. That's the first thing. And then the health of your hair. So to make sure, we need to make sure we've got enough time booked out, and we don't have that at the moment. And making sure we've got your hair in the best place it can be before we do any services. So, the safety first, and then the health of their hair.
Yeah.
It's just the way that we dialogue with it.
Yeah.
And when you are completing the service, it is about going back to what we've already spoken about how what, how and why. So, you know, the shampoos and conditioners that you use, the styling products, why, the benefits, the features. Just to recap over, you know, we use this to really cleanse the hair and to get the moisture put back in. We've used the Fortify spray because we need to put the protein back into the hair. And then we finished with the Pure Polish drops to give a lovely shine, protect your hair against humidity. So it's just recapping and letting them know what and how and why. So it is just recapping everything.
Yeah. Another little tip as well is if you do have a heather in that's just really not sort of taking what you're saying, then it might be an idea just to repeat back. So just so I'm understanding correctly, we want to do this, this and this, and you want to be in at this. And sometimes when you repeat it back to them, they realise how high maintenance they sound. And that's a really good technique. And also I use that sometimes in your step 2 in your consultation. So what I'm hearing is, and then you repeat back, okay, so what I'm hearing is that you are a dark brown at the moment and you want to go blonde. You want it as soon as possible and you want it ideally for under £80. And I think as soon as you repeat that back to them, they go, so, and I think you say, okay, well, let me just understand I'm hearing that right, or let me just explain back what I've heard you say, and that can sometimes really help you. And it's a really like it's a good tactic so that you're not sort of going, okay, you're sounding really unrealistic. It just sort of manages that and sort of really help you with them difficult, hard heathers, because we all have them.
It shows you're listening as well when you're recapping back what they say. It shows that you've took everything on board, because whenever I have a new client, I'm interested to know, you know, when was their last haircut? Were they happy with their last haircut? And if they weren't, why weren't they? And a lot of the feedback that I get from my new clients is that my hairstylist didn't listen to me. So by repeating back what they're saying, we're showing that we're listening, and again, making them realise what their expectations are as well. So that's super important. Yeah. So
perfect. There's nothing more to add with step 7. You have it?
No, I'm happy with that.
Fabulous. Any questions? Don't forget to add them, and we'll go over them at the end as well. So we've got our final step, which is our step 8, which is booking in advance. And this is a really big one because it's in our 4 R's. So remember, what we need our clients to be doing is recommending us, taking our retail, booking in advance, and writing us reviews. And I put a post up saying that's what I need them to be doing, and asking people to book their next 3 appointments, and just saying that helps manage our business going forward, and it will help manage your column moving forward. So as a stylist, I would say at the moment, we've got like a real kind of influx of clients. So for your next appointment, I would ask that you come into 5 weeks rather than a normal 6, just so it helps me even out that flow of people, so we can just manage that flow of clients coming in. And that just helps you plan ahead, and it helps manage knowing what's going to be coming in the door. We did in November, we did a rebooking raffle. So if they book their next 3 appointments, they got 5 tickets into the raffle, and then we drew, and they had a prize. It was either they could choose from 2 prizes. It was some curling tongs, H.H. Simpson's curling tongs, and it was a year supply of shampoo, which I worked out was about 4 or 5 bottles of Eufora, or the Sensus. I gave them 2 really big bottles of the Sensus, which costing of the business is literally like £50 to £60. But to them, the impact and the amount of people that wanted to then book, it really created that kind of interest of, I want to book that appointment. And it helps, I like to put it across them, it helps you manage your diary, because we're going to be going back, there's going to be things popping up. So if we get your next few appointments booked in, you know when you're coming and going, and we can guarantee that time slot at the time you prefer. And I tend to throw in a little bit of you're one of my most loyal customers, so I want to make sure that you get the slot that you want. And that way they're like, I want to get that slot. And it just sort of makes them feel special. Remember, we want them to feel special, and that's going to make them feel special and prioritized as well.
Definitely. And I let my clients know as well, because with going back, and I've heard from so many people trying to get everybody booked in, and how should we do it? What strategy should we do? But for me, my priority clients were the ones that already had appointments booked in, and they've been the ones that I've been contacting first. So letting clients know that when they are rebooking, they become more of a priority client. And by rebooking at the moment, it just gives you a little bit more certainty, and it gives them a bit more certainty as well, like in times that are really unprecedented. At least they know they've got the hair appointments booked in, just to have something to look forward to. So it's really important. And normally before we get to step 8, I already know throughout the service, I've already got their next appointment booked in the page.
Yeah.
Because we've been constantly talking about our hair goals, where we want to go to. And, you know, I think a lot more people will start to be going out a little bit more. And when they are going out a little bit more, they do want to make a little bit more of an effort because they've been stuck in the house for 14 weeks. So, you know, recommended for them to come in and have blow dries and services in between appointments as well, and getting them to book in as many appointments as they can.
Yeah, and here's a few other options for you as well. So one of my Eufora salon owners, as part of the education team as well, she has this special club which is called, her salon's called Pin Up Curls, and they call it the Curl Club. And if they book a year's worth of appointments, which they worked out every 6 weeks, I think it was like 9 appointments. So they have to book 9 appointments as a minimum. And there's rules around it as well. They're not allowed to cancel them. They're only allowed to move them. They must give you a certain amount of notice and things like that. But you can adjust that for your business. But then they unlock special rewards for that. So they might get an exclusive buy one, get one half price on products when they have had like their 4th visit. And they get sort of special features. There'll be a VIP night for them that we could go through hands-on things with them, and it just creates a bit more luxury just for thanking them for rebooking them appointments, and it gives them more of an incentive to like book them appointments as well. So that's just something that you could introduce into your salon, just to try and capture that audience to get them in. You will already have people that book a year in advance, and we love them, and it's just rewarding that and saying thank you so much, and it might entice other people that would normally book a couple ahead anyway, and they go, well, actually let's just book for the full year. And so it's just that encouragement to book in, and it will just help you for the business moving forward. So that's a really good option for you to try to think about.
Definitely. And there's so many different ways of doing it, but whatever way you decide to do it that's going to be best for you and your team is being consistent with it. And that is what 8 Steps is all about. It's about having a system in place so we can create consistency, quality every single time, and confidence as well. And if you are already doing 8 Step, brilliant. I hope you got some ideas today of other ways that you can introduce and do things a little bit differently. If you're not, it's really time that you start implementing it, because we need it now more than ever. We need to upgrade our experience, and whether it's going to be with using the mood, etc., and the essential oils, we really need to upgrade the experience and be consistent with it. And one thing that has always resonated with me was when I was speaking to you, Nicole, before, and some of our stylists, you know, they may never have had a luxury experience themselves. So how do we expect them to give a luxury experience in the salon? And one of the programs that we did have here at the Academy, we haven't been able to do any yet, but it was our Bubbles experience, where the stylist would come along and we would do the 8-step experience on them, so they know how it feels to be completely pampered. And then we would go over and do some education with them after and reflect over the experience that they had. And then so they can go back to the salon and deliver that. But, you know, at the moment, maybe if it's something that you can do yourself in the salon, and look at and think about times when you have had a great experience at being a consumer or a customer or client somewhere else, a really good experience that you've had. And then maybe think of an experience that you've had that wasn't so good. And then think about the experience that you're giving in the salon. How does it compare? Because it's going to come down to the importance of experience at the moment. And that is what's going to be key for us, and being consistent with the 8 steps. And also with the 8 steps, you get to monitor your performance. You can look and see if you're getting results. And if you haven't been so good on your rebooking that week, you know, was I working on my step 8 booking in advance? You know, your warm and friendly greeting, you know, the first impression, did I not give a good first impression? What could I have done differently? So it's a way for you to monitor. And then I always say it's reflection to perfection. So you can look back and see, reflection to perfection, to see what you could have done differently, and just being consistent as well.
Yeah. And also, when we very first go back, if you do step 8 in between your step 4 and 5, that's okay, because it might save you time. As long as you're hitting every single one of these steps, the timeline of them can shift around, because when we go back, it is going to be a bit different. We're doing our consultations before they come in. We're taking their bookings, and you might even take their payments before they've like even got to the desk or before you've got to the blow dry. These are just steps and key points for you to hit throughout that visit, and that might work better for you. That while you're talking through your haircut and your blow dry and you say, well, you need to come in 6 weeks time, I in my head when I walk in that day, I look and see what it is. So I know 6 weeks from today is, I'm not in the salon, so my brain can't go that ahead. But we're looking at like August. You're looking at like the first or second week in August. And so you could say, how does that sound to you? Does a Friday at 2 o'clock normally suit you best? And then you could actually, if you have a reservationist or another team member, you might have an apprentice, you can get them to rebook that appointment then and there. So that's taken that step away, and it just, well, not necessarily taken away, but you've completed that step, and it just helps save you a lot of time. So you don't always have to wait till when you're at that desk to do that. After we've got past this, you might want to add that into the experience, that you take them over to reception in your retail area. But that's just something that might be a time saving tool for you to bring that up in between different steps to help you save some time there as well.
Oh, just one thing I want to add, actually, what me and Nicole were talking about earlier. You know, a lot of us are like, I know when I first go back to the salon, that first week I'm working 9 days in a row to try and fit all of my clients in, because you know, people are realizing that they're not in our top 10 clients. So I'm trying to fit in as many people as I can that first week. And then I'm going to get a bit of a problem when it comes to rebooking them, because they're all going to want to rebook in 6 weeks time. So something Nicole suggested was by saying to your client, okay, I'm trying to manage my bookings and to get everyone back onto a track. So rather leaving it 6 weeks this time, I'd like to see you in 5 weeks. And then after your next appointment, we can then move forward with seeing where we need to go from there, whether it would be 6 weeks from there. So maybe getting people to rebook in 4 to 5 weeks rather than the 6 weeks, and then getting into some sort of system of rebooking that way. Otherwise we're going to have to do like 9 days in a row every 6 weeks to get them all booked in.
Oh gosh, that's going to be chaotic. But yeah, and just that's why if you go in at the beginning of the day and I just look at my column, or and I just have a look and think, okay, who can I push there, who can I bring forward, what can I do, what can I recommend, just so in my head I just know that how that day's running. So it makes your 8 steps just flow so much easier, because there's nothing more gutting than when you get to the end of the day and you think, oh, I thought I could have done a bit more retail. Oh, my rebooking rate could have been higher. If you do that right at the beginning, then all these steps will just fall in place and they'll just feel seamless. And that's what it's all about, creating that seamless, amazing experience. The client feels special. The client feels like you prioritize them. They feel like they've got your full attention when you're doing their hair, because that's the thing. We don't want to feel distracted. And that's what the 8 steps is going to do. It's going to keep you focused. It's going to keep you at the top of your game. And it's going to make that client feel really special. And that's what we want to achieve for you. So just follow that through and be the stylist that you've always wanted to be. You know, have that time to really do it for yourself. If you're not doing it for anyone else, do it for yourself. Do it because you want to be that stylist and you want to have that promotion. And you want to earn that money, and that doesn't happen from someone that just rocks in 5 minutes before their first client. Okay,
definitely. So before we go into the questions, I think, is there anything else you want to add on about the full 8 steps?
All I'd say is when if you would like a little bit more of an in-depth experience with the 8 steps, then definitely look at booking your team onto the bubbles and blowout. And then the next day, it's like a 2-day thing. So the next day we do the 8 steps. So, I mean, we've been here like an hour and 40 minutes. Whereas when we do the training session, it's a full, like almost 8-hour day. So you can imagine how much more in depth, and we do a lot more role plays, and we'll do role plays with you, and we'll be tapping back to experiences that you've actually had, because you would have experienced the 8 steps yourself. And then you could see how you can implement that in with your clients when you go home. It's all about that call to action. We want to give you information and easy, quick, implementable tips you can go back and start doing straight away.
Definitely. And what I would just like to say is, like, we've got one more week now. Like next Friday, it's going to be like salon work eve before we go back on the Saturday, the 4th of July. If you're all going back on the 4th, I know some of you aren't going back, but you know, use this week to look at some of the tools, what we're going to be uploading, like the plan your day, do a bit more product knowledge, but just try and rest as well, because you're not going to get this time back. So look after yourself, get yourself back into that zone, back into that right mindset, And don't overthink things, because I've spoken a lot to a few stylists the last few days, and everyone's like they've got it one moment and then they start overthinking everything, because we've got nothing else to really do. And so but when we get back there, we're going to be fine. We're going to do it. We're going to show up in every moment, and we are going to just go back bigger and better. And we've got one more week to be able to do that. And so don't overthink it now. Relax and
fill your reservoirs. Debbie speaks about filling up your reservoirs, make you feel good. You've got this. You wouldn't be the stylist you are today if you didn't. So you've got this, you know what you're doing, you know how to do colour changes, you know how to do root smudge, you know we've given you all them tools, so just relax. You've got this, and these are just some simple tips to help make it a little bit more easy for you, okay? So just relax, enjoy the week, enjoy the build-up like Christmas, and then we'll go back with a bang.
Definitely. Okay, should we go to some of the questions then? Let's have a look. Can I see a plan of your day sheet somehow, please? Yeah, we're going to upload that up in the group, in the P4H group deck, is it? Yeah, we're going to put that up there so you'll be able to see. It's a great tool, and it really just upgrades your day. And, you know, you can always earn more next week than what you did last week in the hair industry. So it's just a way to really upgrade your day and upgrade your clients' day and give them a better experience. So we'll get that uploaded into the Facebook page.
Most of my clients say no. How do I get them to open up more? Do you mean no for changes on their hair?
When you said the question, is there anything else I could do to make your hair better? Or
Okay, so if you're asking if when you finished and you're in your step, that'd be your step 6, isn't it? Your guest consultation, and you're saying, is there anything more I can do to make your hair better? And they say no. Go, oh, okay, that's amazing. But if there is anything ever that I can do or that is bugging you a little bit, then please share that with me, because I would always like to improve and get you to the perfect hair. But if you're saying it's perfect now, happy, winning days. I'll take it as a compliment. I wouldn't get worried about that. And just, I think, offer them that solution if they want to, that there you are welcome to that. And I make a joke and say, I'm a big girl, I can take it. I'd rather know that you're not 100% happy than you go home and struggle away. And they might go, no, it's lovely and I love it. And they might just be happy. And some people don't want to change and they're really happy with what you do. And that's why they're a loyal customer of yours. So don't think, oh God, there must be something. No, take it as a pat on the back and say, well done. No, you've done a good job. They're 100% happy. You did a good 8 step. So don't worry too much.
Have you found, Maria, that your clients that who have said no, have they gone home and then said, messaged you to say that they wish that you would cut more off or done something slightly different? Have you ever had that? If so, then they weren't opening up in the salon. But if you haven't had them come back and say that they weren't happy, then they were being honest towards you. But sometimes you can really sense when a client isn't happy, though. You can read it. And I've known that some salons, that if they're not feeling happy in speaking to their stylist about it, at the end of the appointment, front of house, whoever's finishing, can always ask, are they happy with their hair that day? And because sometimes they don't feel confident in saying it to the stylist. So just making sure that front of house maybe asks a few questions as well.
Yeah, definitely. So, and Maria, just pop a little comment just to make sure that we've answered that.
She's 100% happy with that answer.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're 100% happy.
Okay.
No, you don't look hideous. Don't be ridiculous. With just a little tip, because we've got quite a large team, just to make sure the girls aren't just chucking them off. We've actually written our names on the banners. One, because then also the clients at glance, they'll know exactly who that is. Because if it's a bit shiny, they might not see exactly who it is. So we've just written the names on there. Also, just to stop cross-contamination as well. That we just wrote with a pen, so when the girls take them off, they know straight away whose is who, so they don't start touching everyone's as well. So little tip from me to you about the visors. Lovely.
Okay, is there any more questions? I don't know whether there is.
No, I think I'd say there's nothing I need to add. I think we've given you quite a lot there.
I'm going to upload the Eufora rituals into, Declan's going to, I'm not going to.
Take credit.
We're going to upload the Eufora rituals as well. And I would definitely be recommending them for your clients to upgrade when they're coming back into the salon.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, because I appreciate that it has been a long session today, and it is a beautiful day out there. So thank you so much for spending your time with us, and we really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to message us or message Passion for Hair, and we'll do what we can to answer them questions for you. But I think moving forward, if you want to really dive into the 8 steps and what it's about, get yourself onto the course when we are up and running again, and we'll take you there. We'll stretch you and we'll get you there. But good luck, and we'll see you all on the other side of this.
Yep, see you all. Enjoy your day. Bye.
Bye.